Did you ever think what would have happened if realtors or real estate profession didn't exist? In 2020, when the pandemic started, there was an upsurge in the market. The prices start going skyrocketing, and on social media, during the conversations, on WhatsApp message, on messages, there were a lot of people who were blaming realtors and real estate profession for the price rise. They were putting up any reason, any excuse, and going left and right behind the realtor community. Now, what happened after March 2022? The prices started going down because of the inflation, because of many other external factors, and market started settling down. Then again, realtor community was being blamed for the prices to go down. Everywhere people were coming up with the excuses, logics on social media, on WhatsApp and through messages that this all is done by the realtors. So I was thinking, what if the realtor or realtor community doesn't exist? And I was thinking the consequences of that. Do you know, realtor, they work so hard. Realtor, they work so much for their clients to make sure they get the best deal. Not only that, many times I have seen a lot of realtors, they are burning their gas, spending their time, spending money from their pocket and running around with the buyers or working on the listings, and the buyer, they decide not to buy, or they buy through another realtor, or the listing doesn't sell. They end up spending a lot of money from their pockets. But what if the real estate profession was not there or realtor didn't exist? Did you ever think if we put a buyer and seller in one room and they try to make the deal, it is not gonna happen. The reason behind that is the buyer and the seller, they both are emotionally connected to the deal. There need to be an intermediate, there need to be a person who we call realtor, who really control the situation and control the emotion of people. I know sometimes they give a little gentle push to the clients as well. And believe me, that push is needed to make the deal happen. So if the realtor community wouldn't have existed, trust me, 80% of the people who are enjoying their house, who are living in the house, they would have been renting, and they wouldn't have built up the kind of equity which they have built up today. So in many cases, the realtor played a very important role to make the deal happen for their clients by educating them, by giving them the right knowledge, right information, and above all, giving them that gentle push so that they can make their decision, especially first-time home buyers. It is very, very important to work with a good realtor, because that realtor is going to guide you, that realtor is going to help you to understand how the market is behaving, where the market is leading, where you can get the best rate of interest. Not many other factors are involved into that. So guys, I know many people, they keep blaming realtors for all this upside of the market and downside of the market, whereas that is not the fact. The market is not controlled by the realtors. The market is controlled by buyers and sellers. The market is controlled by demand and supply. And sometimes there are external factors which plays a very, very important role, which is happening right now. Especially if you see the way the rate of interest was going up because of the inflation, the way the challenge happened in the market and the inventory level started going up. So it is all controlled by buyer, sellers, rate of interest, internal factor, external factors. And I'm not saying realtor doesn't play the role in the transaction. Realtor definitely plays a very, very important role in the transaction. But if the realtor community wouldn't have existed, a lot many of you would have been living on the rent. I'm pretty sure my conversation makes sense, and I appreciate you might have a difference of opinion. I would love to know, what do you think about it? So let's take an example of a seller who is planning to or who is trying to sell his house without a realtor. Think about it. This seller has to leave their job. They have to coordinate and arrange all the showings, and they have to do the negotiation by themselves. They might not have the right tools. They might not have the right knowledge and right information. And if you go and check the stats on Google, the people who sold their house privately or without a realtor lost almost $40,000 to $50,000 in the price. Yes, they might have saved some money on the commission, but their loss was much more than that. And let's take an example of a buyer who is planning to buy a house, especially a first-time buyer. Now this person has to arrange all the showings, coordinate with all the realtors, coordinate with all the sellers, and in one particular day, maybe he's not even able to get the appointment. Now he has the limited resources to get the knowledge and information, and most of the time that limited resource is the internet, mls.ca or realtor.ca. But that platform has the information which is a little bit obsolete. The realtor website is very prompt, very active, and get the information right the next second. So by the time this buyer who is planning to buy the house by himself, he might end up losing some good houses because he didn't get that information right on time. Moreover, this buyer has to go and deal with the mortgage, deal with the lawyer, deal with the inspector. He might have limited knowledge about it, but just because the realtor has so much experience, he might have bought hundreds of houses for their clients, would have arranged all the lawyer, inspection, banks, getting the best rate of mortgage. So there are many challenges. I can assure you, I can guarantee you, a good realtor will always compensate his commission. And when I say good realtor, I mean to say good realtor. So guys, realtor really plays a very important role, either it is buying or it is selling of the house. Don't discredit their contribution for purchasing or for selling your house. I'm pretty sure many of you might have experienced buying and selling the house with a realtor, and many of you might have done it by yourself. I would love to know about your experience so that our viewers can get benefited out of it. And my humble request, I am expecting a lot of comments on this video as this topic is of a lot of interest for many people. Please make sure use a respectful and civilized language so that others can get benefited with this discussion. Thank you very much for your suggestion, support, and comments.